outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to show you all the books that I read in November. So there's quite a lot, especially physical books. I'm quite proud of all the physical books I've read. Definitely over 20. So I thought it'd be fun to show you them all. Okay, so I can't actually remember the first book in November because I was away, and I did put it down, but obviously it's like this. But I think it was either The Prospect by Lisa K. Adams or The Duff by Cody Kelkinger. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. But The Prospect I rated 1 star, The Duff I rated 2 stars. I don't really have much to say about it. The Duff, actually, I watched the movie and like obviously when I was younger, I enjoyed it. Would it be my thing now? I don't think so. I haven't watched it in a while. Yeah, I think the book was definitely more childish than the movie, but I think that's just because obviously I believe The Duff is YA. Then we have The Worst Kept Secret by QB Tyler. This book, 5 stars, like chef's kiss. I absolutely love this book and I would never ever stop talking about it now because it is just amazing. If you haven't noticed already, this is going to be a speed round of what I've read because there's loads here. Then we have Unlock the Storybook Heart, Shine Your Icy Crown and Break Your Glass Slipper. I rated all these 2 stars. They were fun to listen to and very quick poems. Then we have Dear Adam. I rated this 1 star. I just personally wasn't a fan of them. Now the physical books probably won't be in order because I obviously read them in different orders, but I'm just going to show you them with series. So then I did read the Sherlock Holmes series, all of them, except for the first one obviously, and I did rate them all 1 star, but personally only because I did watch, I think it's the series, and I absolutely love the series. The books are written in old style, obviously, because they are old books, and I just didn't really understand what I was reading because of the writing style. So it's nothing actually about the plot of the story, it's just I couldn't tell you what I read because I was just so confused half of the time because of the writing style and I didn't really know what was going on. So that's the only reason. Then I read Wildfire, which I rated 4 stars, and I love this. There is a reading blog actually of all my thoughts, so I'm not going to go too much into this, but this was such a fun read and I did get the wax special edition, which I still can't believe. But yeah, I definitely highly recommend that you read this one. Oh, I did read The Nanny in November because it's right here. Okay, so yeah, I did read The Nanny. This was 4-star read for me. So this is obviously a single dad trope with a nanny trope, but she originally did OnlyFans and then she decides to change, but the single dad knew who she was from OnlyFans, so that's the story. Then we had If We Ever Meet Again by Anna Huang. I also go into detail, non-spoilery detail, about this book in the same reading vlog as Wildfire, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I did rate this 2 stars, or 2.5. I'm just looking at the star rating here, so I probably gave it like a point something, but like so this is speed round this month. Then I read Pillow Thoughts 3 and I rated that 2 stars. Falling at First Sight by Willow Winters, and I rated that 3 stars. Then I read The Woman in Me, which is Britney Spears' memoir. I obviously haven't rated this because I just don't feel comfortable in rating memoirs. I never have and I never will because this is not my story to rate. This was so interesting to read, very heartbreaking at times, and you definitely do get answers of things that people wanted answers to. Then I listened to When Life Gives You Vampires and I rated that 1 star. That wasn't really a book for me. Then I read Mile High by Liz Tomford, and this I rated at 4 stars. This was actually so good and I really enjoyed it. I did start it a couple of months ago. I read like 1 or 2 chapters and then I put it down. The beginning wasn't really gripping me and I just think it wasn't the time to read it, so then this month I obviously picked it up again and it was definitely a different experience because I obviously read it at the right time when I actually wanted to pick it up. The amount of cute things that Xander's did for Stevie in this book is amazing. Then I read Unhinged by Vera Valentine and I rated this 2 stars. This is the craziest book I've probably ever read, or one of the craziest books I've ever read. This, I'm not going to explain what it's about because I mean I just physically cannot say it. All I'm going to say is it's a romance between a door. Okay, that's all I'm Then I read In the Likely Events by Rebecca Yarros. This was one of my most anticipated reads. I really wanted to read this one, and I just always looked at it on my shelf. I was like, I really want to read it. I rated this 3 stars. This was really interesting. I read it in one sitting, or technically 2, because I read like 30 pages. And then I read the rest the next day. This was definitely a different type of book that I normally read, and I did love that. So this is about Izzy and Nathaniel, and they meet on a plane, and then they have a plane crash, and then they meet again years later. So it's like a second chance romance. Then I read Once Upon a Broken Heart. This was a 4-star read for me, 4.5. I really can't remember, but I know that I did absolutely love this book. I didn't really rate it 5 stars for the pure fact of I've heard people love the second book more, and I wanted to, keep that rating for that book. But also I just feel like we are going to get more in the second book. You didn't really get many questions answered in this. You are left with so many questions. So that is the only reason, but I did absolutely love it, and I did read it in one sitting, which tells you a lot. Then I read the whole Harry Potter series except for the first book, because I already read that one. And let me just tell you, I know this is in the wrong order. I'm sorry if it bothers you. I read this so quickly. I rated all the books 3 stars, but that is, I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm doing a whole video about it, but it's generally because the Harry Potter series will always have a place in my heart, but I'm probably going to get hate for this, but I prefer the movies over the books. I know. Please don't hate me. But I'm going to go more into detail in a video. Then we have Bad Girl Reputation by Elle Kennedy, which I rated 2 stars. I was actually quite disappointed about this one because I had high hopes for it. I just feel like the characters lacked, the writing style lacked. There was times where I was bored. I was page checking constantly, and that just tells you when you're not really enjoying a book. Then I read Chase Me, which I rated 1 star. This personally wasn't for me, really. Then I read The Lost Bookshop, which I also rated 1 star. This one I'm actually quite disappointed in. I had high hopes for it because the cover looks amazing, the title, even the synopsis sounds great, but I was just so disappointed by it, and I go into more thoughts in a video that should be out soon. Then I read The Bus Who Stole Christmas, and The One Night Stand Before Christmas, and If You Give a Jack a Gingerbread. I rated first one 2 stars, and then the other 2 1 star. But I'll go into more detail in another video. Then I read How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. This I rated 2 stars. This is also another one I'll go into more detail about, but this I was also kind of disappointed in as well. Then I read Forget Me Not, which I also rated 2 stars. This is also another one I was disappointed in. The beginning I was really enjoying, and it really grabbed my attention, and the further we got into the book, the more it just got disappointing and quite boring for me. Then I read These Hollow Vows, which I actually rated 1 star, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think I actually gave this a genuine chance, so I might reread it one day, we'll see. And then lastly, I read The Right Move by Liz Tomford, which is the second book, and I rated this 5 stars. This is absolutely amazing. I don't think any other book in the series could top it. This is definitely a new favourite of mine. The way Ryan treated Indy was amazing. I loved the whole relationship, the whole plot of the story. I just loved everything about this book, okay? And I'm going to be talking about this book a lot. I think I do need to do a updated video of my favourite books, because I've had a lot of new favourite books this year. Oh, quite a few. So I absolutely love this book, that's all I'm saying. Now, we only have tomorrow left of November, so I don't see myself reading anything else. We'll see, I might surprise myself, but those are all the books that I have read in November. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that this video might be a bit rushed or a bit slacking. I am slacking, okay, but I just thought it would still be fun because I'm still putting this video out. I was tempted not to, but I was like, I always do these wrap-ups, and this was a great physical, TBR read pile this month. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.